for men.
Good afternoon. Thanks for tuning in. You're watching Ask PQ on Bloomberg Quint. I'm Navneet Saluja D'Souza.
Hi, Navneet, and hi to all of you who are watching. I'm Alex Matthew, and the question is this the right time to invest in equities? Which stock should you choose? And if you bought a stock, what do you do with it? Well, you've hit the right link. If you have any of those queries, the experts on this show will help you make a decision. Send your queries in to us on Twitter and Facebook, or call us on the number on your screen. That's 022-4540-4141. You can also mail us at askbq@bloombergquint.com. Just add the AskBQ hashtag there. We'll take as many of your questions as possible, so do keep them coming in.
Okay, but before we get to the individual queries on the show, let's also take a look as to what the markets are doing currently. Well, second straight day of gains seen for the markets. Nifty right now is trading somewhere around its 50-day moving average, so 10,452 on Nifty, up almost 30 points. We've seen good gains actually for Bank Nifty, which was underperforming until yesterday, but the rally that one saw in the last hour of trade for the PSU banking space is contributing to the gains that one is seeing on Bank Nifty, up 1%. And look at the Nifty PSU banking index, that's higher by almost 4%. Remember, majority of the gains that you're seeing for most of the constituents is on back of some short covering in today's session. The Nifty ID index is a little weak in today's trade, and the reason for that is TCS, which is down nearly 5% after those multiple block deals took place at a lower price compared to yesterday's closing. But if you look at the broader markets, they seem to be outperforming for a change. We've seen the Nifty mid-cap index trading with gains of nearly 1%, and the small-cap index has registered gains of nearly 1.5%. In terms of the Nifty PSU banking index, which we just highlighted, that's trading with gains of 4%. There are some gainers there from the likes of Bank of India, Union Bank, and also Bank of Baroda. All of them have seen stellar gains in today's trade. In fact, Andhra Bank, which was down yesterday, is also seeing some bit of recovery in today's trading session. Let's now look at the Nifty constituents. The oil marketing companies have been showing strength. So BPCL, HPCL, and also IOC, all three of them have been trading in the green as we speak. And the Nifty contributors chart, which was just there up on your screen, that's telling you which are the stocks which are contributing the most. So the heavyweights, HDFC Twins and State Bank of India, feature in that list. What's dragging it lower is TCS by almost 20 points. Maruti, NTPC, Kotak Mahindra are the ones which are trading in the red right now. Let's also look at the advanced decline ratio, since the broader markets are showing a bit of strength. So clearly, after a lot of trading session, you're seeing some strength coming back. So clearly in favor of the declines as we speak for 4:1 in terms of the market breadth. Jindal World is the other stock from the broader market which is being locked in upper circuit with gains of 20%. Remember, this counter was trading with gains of 7% in yesterday's trade as well. So good going. It's also touched its 52-week high. Future Consumer from the Future Group stocks, that's trading with gains of 14 to 15%. Remember, Motilal Oswal has initiated a coverage on this counter, and the reason why stocks trading in the green is on back of that. Some short covering has been seen for stocks like Andhra Bank, which was down nearly 5 to 6% in yesterday's session. And also you've seen NBCC, that's doing well, as after the news came in that no charges have been proved against the chairman of the company in the CBI probe which was going on. So the markets, Alex, are looking pretty good for the second straight day.
All right, well, with that, let's take a look at our first query of the day, and that one's coming in from, or rather, I haven't introduced the guest. Let's do that first. We have Brijesh Singh, who joins us from StockAxis Advisors, and Sandeep Jain of Tradeswift Broking, who are here to answer all of your questions. I missed introducing you too. Thanks so much for joining us today. Let's get our first query in now. Utsav Singh writes into us on YouTube. He has 500 shares of Asian Paints that he bought at 920 rupees. He has a long-term view and wants to know whether he should hold or sell at this point. It looks like he's been holding the stock for some time, and he's made some money because it's trading at 1,141 currently. Sandeep, I'm going to come to you with this question. The paints and emulsion space, and particularly Asian paints, is often discussed with a long-term view, especially when you're talking about this play in the housing space and the thrust in affordable housing, where you have to see a significant movement there. What should Utsav do? He's made about 24% since he invested. Should he hold or sell at this point?
He should hold on to the stock because somehow I'm very bullish on the building material industry, and paints is also one of the major components. And the way the government has been focusing on the rural demand and basically the affordable housing segment. So I feel, Asian Paints will do well, and he has already made some good money. 24% of returns is a good return, but still there is some more steam left. And I think since he is a long-term investor, he should always be invested in this stock. And it's a fantastic growing company with a fantastic balance sheet and good return ratios. So I think there is no harm in holding on to the stock and no point in even thinking of selling the stock.
Okay, so you can look to hold on and no point in selling is the advice coming in from Sandeep with regard to Asian Paints. Let's move on to our next query for the day, and this one comes from Hari Om Panchal, who's written to us on Facebook. He has 200 shares of Wadia Industries bought at 910. He has a short-term view and he wants to know if he should hold or sell. Well, clearly the current price is above the mark of 910. 945 is where Wadia Industries has been trading, and there was some news in the month of November last year that the promoters were looking to sell some stake, but clearly that has been declined by the promoter group. I'm going to go across to Brijesh since it's a short-term query. Brijesh, do you think he should be booking profits here or he can hold on?
See, the stock has bounced from a level of 787, and if its view is very short term, then I'll say hold on, because I don't think there is any problem holding in it. Only thing is that keep a strict stop loss of 925. Anything below 925, stock can come down to 890 or 900 odd level. But the momentum is strong right now, and I'm looking on the higher side resistance somewhere around 1,010 to 1,030 odd level, where he can book his profit. If he extends his time frame, then the next level to watch in a short term would be 1,100 also. So I'll tell him to extend his time for the target of 1090.
All right. Thanks for that view. Let's take the next query. It's a live query, in fact. Akash Randev calls in from New Delhi with a query. Hi, Akash. Thanks so much for calling in. What's the query that you have for us today?
I am holding 5,000 shares of Kohinoor Food at 67 level, and I have a view of 1 to 2 months. So can you please guide me at what price should I exit?
All right.
And what's the long-term view?
All right. Thanks so much for calling in, Akash. We'll right away answer your query. Let's pull up the chart and see where it's at right now. It's 65.2, close to his buy price there. Brijesh, since it's a 1 to 2 month view, I want to get your view on this particular stock. Kohinoor, of course, is most famous for its basmati rice. I'll go to you, Brijesh.
See, the stock got corrected from 95, and after that it bounced back, and from 79 onward again it is being seeing a selling pressure. So overall the chart is not looking good. It's been trading in lower highs formation, which is giving a negative view. Since it's been trading near this cost price, the first sentence would be better to exit. Still, if he wants to hold, then keep a strict stop loss of 60 rupees. Stock has a resistance at 70 and 75, but better if he wants to be in a rice stocks only, then L&T Food looks good, and somewhere if it comes around 85, then he can go for a buying with a stop loss of 77, and your target for short term to medium term would be 92 followed by 98.
Okay, so that's the view coming in on a couple of your rice stocks. That's LT Foods, which is trading with cuts of 1%. Well, we're getting a lot of your live queries. I'm going to go across to Abhishek Gupta's query first. He's written on YouTube. He's asking which sector is the best bet with a 3-year view, and he's also stated, is Maruti Suzuki a good bet with a 1-year view? I don't know if he exactly wants a view on the auto space or not, but Sandeep, I'm going to come to you. Besides auto, if there is any sector that you can advise Abhishek, and also a specific view on Maruti Suzuki.
See, in the auto space, somehow I'm quite bullish on the two-wheeler segment because of the upsurge expected in the rural demand in Bharat basically, and I feel that these two-wheeler segment companies will certainly do well with a great margins also, and a good demand pickup also, and I feel Hero Honda is a great bet in this particular segment. Maruti has corrected, but still, I feel he can wait for some more time because the market has also bounced back, and at these levels again there is some fear of good correction also. So I feel at these levels again, I'm not suggesting very aggressive to our clients also in buying any kind of stocks. So I think what he can do is he can hold on to the stock if he is holding Maruti. And for Hero Honda, I'm bullish, and one can certainly buy on declines from this segment.
All right, so that's a view coming in on Maruti Suzuki. Hold on if you currently are invested, but Sandeep has also given you a few alternatives in the space. Sandeep, another query coming in for you. This one is from Pratish Ranjan Pal, who has bought shares of NBCC at 223. Pratish has a 1 to 2 year view on the stock. Let's pull up the chart and see where it's at right now. It is at around 196, so Pratish has lost some money on that stock. Sandeep, what should he do at this point?
I'm sorry, I could not get the name. It is NBCC you were talking about?
Yes, Sandeep, it's NBCC.
Yeah. Somehow I feel this is a great company to invest in. In fact, the government has been, very active also in giving orders to the company, and with all the PSUs, who have to monetize their land, they will certainly come to this company, and it has got a huge order book, and somehow the company's performance in the past was also excellent in terms of the growth numbers also, and being a real estate company, and I think a real estate company from the government stable, and it's kind of public works department, a private public works department. So I feel one can certainly stay invested in this company, and one can also look at averaging also at bottoms. Somehow valuations are not all that comfortable because the markets are not supporting, so one can certainly buy this stock at declines. It's a great stock. It's a great long-term story.
Okay, so good long-term story for NBCC, and the reason why it's trading with gains of 6% after some clarification came. There was a CBI probe which was taking place, and they found nothing against the chairman of the company, Mr. Mittal, hence the reason for those 6% gains for NBCC. Let's move on and take Amol Wag's query. He's bought 250 shares of HPL Power at a price of 72 rupees with a long-term view. He wants to know what should he do, and clearly HPL Power has been trading way below Amol's buy price of 72. In fact, on YTD basis, the stock has corrected nearly 32%. What does it do? It makes some parts for batteries. It manufactures power system consisting of batteries and related power electronic products. Sandeep, since it's a long-term query, I'll just take your view here. Do you track HPL Power?
No, I don't track this stock.
Okay, no problem. I'm just going to get a technical view going. Brijesh, on the charts, if somebody is bought around the level of 72 and currently the stock's quoting 48, should they be booking losses here?
So it's better to book loss, Navini, because since the stock on a daily as well as a weekly chart has been trading in lower highs and lower lows formation. The previous swing high was 60 rupees. The previous swing low was somewhere around 48, and since it's been trading below that, with the increase in volume, that indicates that there would be more pain left. Downside, again, the support lies as 38 and followed by 32 rupees. Any rise should be used for exiting. Even the current price he can exit, or if any bounce till the level of say 52 to 54, he can exit the stock, and better to buy some other large cap stock rather than holding this stock.
All right, that's a view on HPL Power. Let's go across to our next query, which is in fact a live caller, this time from Jaipur. Laksha Tambi joins us on the phone. Hi Laksha, thanks so much for calling in. What's your query?
Hi sir, good afternoon sir.
Yeah, what's your query?
I have brought 200 shares of IDFC at 66 rupees and 200 shares of Idea at 110. Should I close now or should I average?
And what's your view? What's the time horizon that you're looking at?
Sir, my time horizon is about 6 months.
All right.
Approximately 6 months.
All right, let's see where those two shares are trading at. He's bought 200 shares, remember, of IDFC at 66, and it's currently trading at around 51. And Idea Cellular is the other stock that he's invested in at 110. In both those stocks, particularly in Idea, Lakshya, you've lost a little money there. I'm going to go across to Sandeep and figure out what you should do with regard to these strategies, because you've said that you want a view of over 6 months. Sandeep, the two stocks that he's talking about are IDFC and Idea.
See, I think in Idea, he is losing a lot of money, and IDFC also, he has entered at the higher levels. He might have entered in this stock during that news of, the Capital First and IDFC news. But still, in IDFC, I feel that, this is a good level to hold, and somehow downside risk is also very low from here. And I feel that, he can average also 46 to 48 can be a good level where he can average, and somehow I see a great potential in this company, and somehow the valuations are also very attractive. It's running much below its book value. But as far as Idea is concerned, I would ask him to hold for some time, but somehow I'm not very, very, bullish, and rather I'm very cautious also regarding the whole telecom sector. Somehow there was some relief news from the government, from the TRAI relating to the telecom sector last week, but still I feel that Idea or say Airtel or say Reliance, there is a great competitive industry intensity in the industry. So I feel Reliance Industries can be a good surrogate telecom bet to stay invested in this particular industry. So I would rather suggest him to buy Reliance Industries instead of Idea.
All right, Lakshya, that's the answer to your question. As far as IDFC is concerned, the averaging call with regard to IDFC is between 46 to 48, and RIL is a better bet for you rather than Idea in the telecom space.
Okay, let's move on and take some more queries. Ritvik Sharma writes to us on Facebook. He wants to invest in Yes Bank with a long-term view. He's asking what should he do. And Yes Bank, after suffering losses throughout last week, has seen some bit of gains in today's session, and also it was up in yesterday's trade. Sandeep, I'll come back to you since it's a long-term query. Price to book of 3.2. Do you think it's attractive?
See, he can stay invested in, Yes Bank, and somehow valuations wise, I'm comfortable with this company and the kind of growth the company has been giving, and the management quality is also excellent. So I feel at these levels, the downside risk is also very low already.
Sandeep, sorry to interrupt you. He wants to make a fresh investment. So do you think it's a better bet among all the private banking stocks?
Okay, sorry. See, he can invest in Yes Bank, but if he asks me that if it is the best in all the private sector banks, so I feel that it is certainly one of the best, but still I would like to go with Kotak Mahindra Bank. In all these private sector banks, one can certainly invest in Kotak Mahindra Bank, and if he has a very long-term view, then HDFC Bank is also a great bet to get into. But somehow I would rather try to caution him also that, because private sector banks somehow has not corrected to the levels of, as the PSU banks have corrected, and there is a big bad news in the public sector banks. So, sometimes all these banks, all the banking industry can get affected. So I feel one should be cautious in entering into the banking sector or the NBFCs at this point of time. One should rather focus more on IT, pharma, FMCG, consumption stories. These are the better bets in these kind of risky markets.
All right, so that's the view coming in on the banking space and on Yes Bank. You should focus on certain other sectors, and in fact, Sandeep mentioned the IT space, and that's where the next query relates to. Hariom Panchal is talking about Aptech. He's bought shares of Aptech. He hasn't said how many. At 293, he has a short-term view on that stock. The year to date, so far this calendar year, it's lost about 14.7%, and even over the past month, in fact, it has lost about 6%. But he still has made a decent amount of returns on this particular stock. Brijesh, what's the view in the short term? Should he hold on? Is there a further upside that you're seeing in the short term?
See, no doubt the stock from 405, it got corrected, and after that it made a low of 243, and after that we are seeing a one-way rally. till the stock has been trading above 285 to 290 zone, that would be the first support zone that should not be broken. So if the stock has been trading out 285 to 290, I'll say hold on, one thing. Second thing, anything above 320 on closing basis. So that would be a big even point. If anything about 320 stocks, definitely it would be, even the he can accumulate the stocks more. For the target of upside would be 360 to 365. So I'll say hold on to the stock. From the downside, it has been the increased volume indicates that the momentum would be continuing, and even the IT stocks right now they are in the flavor, whether that be an IT Tech or Aptech or Tech Mahindra. So definitely it would be hold on. 320 would be the key level to watch.
Since we're in the IT space, I want to talk about TCS, and that's the stock which is in focus today. Maheshwaran Damodaran writes to us. He wants to know what's the best price to enter into this counter, considering the multiple block deals that's taken place where Tata Sons have sold nearly 1.5% stake. So 2899. Brijesh, I'll come back to you. How are the long-term charts for TCS looking? Should somebody use today's opportunity where the stock has tumbled 5% to buy into it?
See, the stock was been trading at 2200 or 2300 on a downside, followed by 2700 and 2800 on a higher side. After that, we have seen the breakout, and we made a high of 3260, and after that we were be consolidating in the range of 3000 or say 2950 on downside, followed by 3100 on the higher side. No doubt the stock on a daily chart, it has formed lower highs, which has given the downside target of 2900 and 2830. So if someone wants to look for a 6-month plus horizon time frame, definitely this level of 2900 or even somewhere around 2870, definitely it would be a buy side. Your stop loss would be 2820 or 2025, and on the higher side 3000 and 3050 would be acting as a resistance for the short to medium term. Anything above 3100 on closing basis, we are ready for a next fresh leg up on a higher side, and I'm looking medium term target touching somewhere around 3600 to 3700. So definitely at this range, at this juncture, definitely one should buy this stock.
All right, another question coming in for you, Brijesh. This one from Nikhil, who has bought INOX Wind at 132 with a short-term view. Again, we don't know how many shares Nikhil has picked up, but he does have a short-term view on the stock. Let's pull up the chart and see where it's at right now. It's currently at 122, not too far from the buy price. What are the charts telling you on INOX Wind, Brijesh?
See, the stock daily as well as weekly is not that much comfortable, but from 106 odd level it has bounced to the level of 135 around, and since it's been trading at 122, I'll say better to hold on. If I'm assuming if this has been a cost price of him, then keep a strict stop loss of 116 or 117. On a higher side, anything somewhere around 130 132, he can book his profit and move to the IT stocks, because as I have told, IT counter look goods. NIT Tech at this rate also is looking good. 900 somewhere has been quoting at, even for short to medium term, with a stop loss of 870, one can go off for buying this stock for the target of 1050 and 1125.
Okay, that's the view coming in on IT Tech. Just want to highlight the stock has been witnessing a lot of open interest addition on the long side in the last 2 to 3 trading sessions. So long build-up continues for this counter. That's NIT Tech. We're talking about Rahul Ramkrishnan on YouTube says he's bought 2,000 shares of Finotech Chemical at a price of 56, and he has a long-term view. He's asking for some advice. Sandeep, if I can come to you, do you track Finotech Chemicals?
No, I don't track this stock. Finotech Chemicals.
Okay, no problem. Let's just take a technical view going. Brijesh, on the charts, Finotech Chemicals trading, somebody's bought at 56, and I guess the current price is somewhere about 59. What would you advise Rahul to do?
See, for Finotech Cable, I'll just say on a downside, it has a support at 42, 45. But for very short term, I'll say the stock has a support at junction of 51 to 52. On a higher side, it has to give closing above 65 to move up. So 65 would be the keen resistance zone to hold on. Anything above 65, then stock can jump to 72 to 73. So 65 has to be watched very carefully.
All right, let's take another query here. This one from Sondar M, who has bought 700 shares of DHFL at 460 with a 1-year view. Sondar wants to know whether he should hold or sell at this point. Let's talk about the company is currently at 524. So yes, Sondar has made some money on it. It's a 1-year view. Sandeep, what do you like DHFL at this point? Do you think that he should hold on for another year?
Yeah, he can certainly hold on to the stock. Somehow DHFL is one of the cheapest bets in the housing finance industry, and looking at this expected upsurge in affordable housing segment, I feel that this company is well poised to encash on that demand, and somehow valuations wise it looks very attractive. The growth numbers are excellent, and there are some good leading famous marquee investors invested in the company. So I feel, he has entered at a good level, and somehow we have been recommending this stock since 150, 200 levels, and yet we feel that, the company is still one of the cheapest bets in the industry. So he can hold on to the stock, and once it comes down, he can always, if he has investable funds, he can again add on to his positions.
All right, strong call coming on DHFL. Accumulate if you have additional funds and if the stock falls, of course.
Well, it's been one of the outperformers in the last 1 year. The stock's given returns of nearly 60 to 61%. That's the stock from the NBFC space. But we're running out of time. On that note, I'd like to thank both our guests. Thank you very much, Brijesh and Sandeep, for helping our viewers with their queries. Well, that's all that we have on this edition of Ask BQ.
But remember, you can always send in your queries to us. We're just a tweet, post or call away. So do keep your queries coming in, and we promise to address as many of them as possible through our shows. For the queries that were discussed today, you can log on to the website, that's bloombergquint.com, and search for the Ask BQ. Do add the hashtag, so search for hashtag Ask BQ and get all the queries that we answered today. Up next is Power Lunch, so do keep watching. This is Bloomberg Quint.